Hey guys, spoiler season continues. We have a lot to catch up on. Also, there is a whole bunch of new spoilers out from this latest anime expo, so be sure to check out that video right after this one. But here we have Skygrasper. I believe every faction is pretty much going to get anyone can essentially link to it from its faction, a 2/2 cost. So here we have the Earth Alliance. I love these cards because essentially these are kind of like your hasters if you really think about it. But the main use is that mostly any of your pilots can go ahead and give this thing haste. So these are pretty cool. I was so excited when this card was released, Lucretia 9. I had the most luck so far using these in very mid-range to control builds. I like this card a lot, and the art is so subtle. I like it. It's not so bright. I love the art. How is this not an art? They're spoiling us with this good art, guys. I gotta get a playset of these. In here we have a death site, guys, with the link for Duo Maxwell, obviously. Now Duo now has 3 total units, which makes him a insanely good pilot now. Now this one just has repair 1 in green, which is pretty crazy. Now Duo Maxwell gives you +1/+2, which makes it a 5/5, and having that repair on a 5 body is pretty good. In here we have Dual Gundam. I love this. Here we have a Link Zaf trait. I think this is the lowest cost breacher in the game right now, but it does have that condition of having that. Let's call it the Zaf condition, the 5 or more AP, in order for this to happen. Overall, I believe when you play Zaf, this is actually going to be a 4 of in your deck, guys, because it works with everyone and it's decent stats, and it drops for only 2 costs on level 3. Pretty good. In here we have the Unicorn Gundam Destroy mode. I was waiting for this card, guys. I'm absolutely going to be playing this. You may destroy one of your level 5, and that's kind of very important here, link units with Unicorn mode in its name in order to play this card. And if you do, you treat this card as if it was level 0 for the cost of 0. And it has a generic effect of attack, choose 1 unit, rest it. Now some people may look at that effect and not really think too much about it, but that is a extra strong control ability, especially in this type of game, guys. When you swing, being able to tap down their 1 blocker. If your opponent goes on the top deck mode, they're dead. I think of it as a double attacker. Yeah, it does require the normal Unicorn mode to be on the board. You play that, you play the Banadra underneath it, you draw a card because that's the link effect of the pilot. You swing. Let's say it survives. Let's say you attack into a unit or whatever. Now there's damage on it. You sacrifice it, play this card from your hand, get the Banadra back, play it again, draw a card, swing again. So you have 2 attacks. And of course, this is going to lay down another unit in order for you to get even further plays. This card is insane. All right, here we have Girazulo Guards type. Pretty simple effect here. It says deploy, choose 1 enemy unit, deal 1 damage to it. Now this is one of the better Neo Zeons that you can get off of the full frontal free play ability. It does cost level 4, cost 3, and I think actually this is my choice, because Sanaju, when it deals damage to your opponent's shield, it does 2 damage, and just having more effects like this just makes it just that much more optimal. Now the stat is only a 2/4. Having a 4 in a butt is pretty strong though, so I wouldn't sleep on that. You can get rid of quite a lot of blockers and survive, so having 4 in a butt is pretty good. Yo, we have Big Zam. So for all these white blue decks that are just not being defeated, you need to throw this guy. Yes, it is conditional. It says breach 4, which is an insane breach that is on the same level as Wing Gundam. We have deploy if there are 10 or more Zeon and or Neo Zeon unit cards in your trash, deal 4 damage to all units with blocker. Now understand, it says all units. Yes, it will kill your own blockers. Zeon and Neo Zeon in those decks are not going to be playing blockers anyway, unless you kind of throw in some white there. You can also throw Dozo Zozabi in that deck too. Dozo Zozabi is an insanely good card, guys. Don't sleep on it. Yes, it costs 5. I saw a lot of thumbs down when that card was released. You guys are insane. This right now kills every single non-piloted blocker in the game right now. So quite honestly, if you're running an aggro deck and they're kind of stalling you out and they're kind of stabilizing, Big Zam actually in a aggro deck can come down and just get your aggro tempo back to you. That's pretty good. Now quite honestly, this is why I think the game really needs a sideboard, because of cards like this. Also want to bring out that we are forgetting 2v2 matchups and also free-for-all. So cards like this in 2v2 and free-for-all are also insane, or even more insane. There are some cards, those decks designs are going to be completely different. One day we're going to have to talk about what we're going to be bringing for 2v2 matches if we of course get ourselves a partner. Who wants to team up with me, guys? Let me know. All right, here we have a generic Demiguard Garrison. Just adds a little bit aggro. I think Academy is pretty much the more aggressive style of play for white if you want to do that. Will Academy be a deck over playing something like white blockers? Who knows? I think white is more so like just too control-y. If I were to play white, I actually would play Academy because cards like Soletta is just insane value getting cards back from your graveyard. There's so much going on with that. We're just gonna have to see. Would I play this card? Of course, if I play Academy Rush. And I love the 2-for-1s because if you go second with that coin, we talk about the EX resource, you can go ahead and drop 2 of these guys and start putting some pressure on your opponent there. All right, check this, guys. We have Makuve. The art style is so freaking cool. Oh my goodness, it looks so good. So it says effect, if this is a Zeon unit, it gains breach 1. Now a lot of people are up in arms about like the breach level. Like, yeah, it's not like breach 5, you're not like destroying a base, but if they don't have a base up, you're still taking a life. Breach 1 is good enough. You're adding breach 1 to essentially anyone? How are you not throwing this on a aggro card? So that's the thing about aggressive builds, that if you put essentially, if you try to tempo them and attack into their units, you're doing the wrong play. You're not really, you should be focusing on attacking their shields, but Breach actually allows you the ability to do that, as well as, you know, get rid of their guys. If you have the opportunity to get rid of the guys and still deal damage, that means they can't use that guy against your guys and slow you down. But it is a pilot, so there is that. So let's go ahead and look at his unit. All right, so we have the Gian. When paired with a Zeon pilot, choose one level 2 or lower unit with blocker and destroy it. Hey, that could be pretty good too. Getting rid of some of their blockers off the board, at least one of the early ones, destroyed, pretty good. How many level 2 blockers are there? There's probably maybe like 4 top of my head here. But like I said, in an aggressive board, those are probably going to be the only ones that are going to be saving them at that point. So this can really just kind of pierce through that kind of stuff. So I would need to give these cards like a real consideration when running in like the topper end for aggro. Like Zeon aggro has a lot of different choices for top ends. When I mean top ends, I mean like a level 4 or even level 5 card that can kind of finish the game. But honestly, right now, it's hard to take that seed away from the Gelgoog. Char's Gelgoog is pretty tough. I will have to say that. Yes, the Justice Gundam. That is the legendary rare for the Triple Ship Alliance. Arthanzala, who is a red pilot. So we have our first true card that requires another card from a different color. Well, not necessarily requires, but if you want that link, you're gonna have to play this in red white. It says when deployed, deploy 1 Phantom Triple Ship Alliance 2/2 blocker unit. All right, so now it says during pair and you attack, choose one of your Triple Ship Alliance unit tokens. It may attack the turn it was deployed. So that's pretty good. They mentioned in a recent discussion that this may have other uses or other types of tokens coming out. So this may not be the only Phantom. So keep this in the back of your mind, guys. But as of right now, to me, this card isn't truly insane. Like, you must play it in red in order to get that, essentially, the ability from the haste. But until more of those Phantoms, it's just not going to be that strong. But this is going to be a card that kind of grows in time. And here is the artwork for that token. Yo, even our token cards look insane. Look at them throwing that backpack at them. Go get them. Okay, so I just want to quickly go over all of the legendary rares that was spoiled recently in one of the Link Station YouTube videos. So here we have the Gundam, of course. So all these come textured in that that same treatment that you got from the beta cards. These are going to be the legendary rares or the alt arts that we have access to, and then others here. So let's go ahead and just go through them. Feel free to pause the video if you want to check this out. This one doesn't have a logo in the background, so he's trying to fill as much of it as possible. It's kind of a little bit more blend than the other ones here, like Oz has that cool logo there. I obviously want this one. I obviously want this one. And the Shanazu one, the Shanazu art is so good. It looks so good. I like how everything is kind of silvered out. I like this one a lot here. Now, I'm usually the kind of guy that would sell these once I get them, so I may not hold on to them. So be sure to check out TCG Player for if I pull these, they may be up. All right, now we get into the territory where the rest of the starter deck spoilers were released. So if you didn't know that, guys, you can go ahead and prepare yourself for starter deck meta with these cards. You see we have the Jin. He doesn't have a link, but he is also that 1 cost. Here we have the Drac C sleeves. This is at 1/1 for red. I was kind of hoping for this for a long time. Being able to add more 1-drops in Zeon, and then of course giving him +2 with an ability, with the command card I should say, or an ability, and being able to knock out that first shield is pretty good. So you just add to that aggression there. And here we have a really good base here. I think this base is really good. So that's why they had to kind of nerf it to a 4 instead of a 5, because this effect is pretty high tempo, because this can work from the burst. You know, it says add a shield to your hand, then choose one of your opponent's units with 3 or less HP and return it to its owner's hand. It is one of those effects there where white, you know, these aren't like you may. So yeah, white has to be kind of careful on who they're going to be bouncing. Being like such a strong tempo play out of the burst is pretty good, because imagine if you get hit, this flips up, you draw a card, and you bounce their other guys that was going to attack. This essentially reminds me of like the Argama, but like better, because they have to replay that card. It's pretty good. Yeah, obviously it doesn't hit like everyone, but a lot of people play like 4-3s. There's a lot of 4-3s out there, and if they're not piloted, it's going to get bounced by this and they're going to have to pay it again. But at the same time, if they're expecting it, that might be bad. Like if they attack with a guy who's wounded, then those going to be bounced back and they can drop it again with the pilot, attack again. So in a way, that's probably its only negative use, but otherwise just being a tempo, I've been having very much success with this card in testing. Now this card is obviously not too strong because it is a level 1. It's probably the only level 1 pilot that exists in a game right now. But level 1, cost 1, command, and it simply says choose one active friendly Earth Federation unit and one active enemy unit. Rest both of them. You have to have the Earth Federation unit in play in order to rest them. Now the only deck that I can really think of where this is actually maximized in like Shamblo decks, or decks that require you to have your own friendly tap down unit, well, that's pretty much it. The Stubborn Cog. This card is pretty stubborn. Yo, Zaf got a heater here. This puppy, good boy. Says attack if this unit has the Zaft ability 5 or more AP and it's attacking an enemy unit. Keep that in mind, guys. And it's attacking an enemy unit. Choose one enemy unit, doesn't even need to be the one you're attacking, and deal 2 damage to it. I've had so many times where this puppy here would take out 2 units, being able to attack into one. Maybe I was able to give it first strike from my Blitz Gundam and then shoot something else out of my way, or shoot a blocker out of my way. This card is crazy, and it has a link for any Zaft, and it only costs, this card is a 4 of in any Zaft build, or I'm giving this card too much gas here. Now I would say this, it only works if you're attacking into something. This isn't like some lower cost version of the Shinaju. At the same time, that's where Shinaju is kind of bad, because sometimes you want to attack into a unit but you can't get that extra effect off. That's where Lego comes in, but obviously you need that condition. Probably gonna have that condition if you're playing this in Zaft. They don't want you to get this condition so easy if you're playing it in a different type of build, so it is something that you're probably not gonna play in a lot of Xeon builds, just because this card is good, but it does require that 5 AP. All right, and the last card for today's reveals, guys. I know it's a long video here, but check this out. We have the Gundam Feract. I've never seen this card. I've never seen this model kit ever, and it's a Gundam. That is a weird looking Gundam, but of course it has the yellow spots on the chest, so thus it is a Gundam, I guess. So it says Academy trait, during Link attack, choose one enemy unit, it gets -2 AP this battle. That is so good. This goes in the aggressive white builds, I'm telling you. But yes, it does have to have a link in order to get that ability online, but it says any Academy trait, and it's only level 4 card for cost of 3. This is a early card. Essentially, any Academy trait unit becomes like a Kira. We all know how good Kira is, but if you throw Suletta on this, it turns Suletta into a Kira. That's crazy. I rate this very high. Obviously, it can only be utilized in an Academy deck, so there's no way you can say like this is like a 5-star card. But in Academy aggro, I think this card is gonna be really good. This is probably this is like one of the toppers I was kind of hoping for. All right, guys, that's gonna be the end of this video. If you guys want to see more spoilers, if you haven't seen some of the old ones, check out these videos right here. And if you want to see the new spoilers out, go ahead and check this video right here. I know life can be hard out there, guys, but keep your head up, keep moving forward, but most importantly, let nothing stop you. Peace out, guys.